Whoever said you can't stop progress was obviously referencing the mid-size SUV segment. For 2017, that axiom holds true. So, to better understand the latest crop of family-friendly midsizers, we gathered up a group of 6. And before you ask, the 2018 Chevrolet Traverse and Ford Explorers were not available yet. Okay, let's dive in. The newest kid on the block is the 2018 Volkswagen Atlas. As the Joey McIntyre of the group, we approached VW's first 3-row SUV with great curiosity. It turns out, Atlas is as big as the name implies. Behind the third row is a generous 20.6 cubic feet of space, expandable to 96.8 cubic feet of space with the rear seats folded flat. And I mean flat. With the seats up, even our leggiest editors found the second and third rows more than inhabitable. And yet, even without the optional 360-degree camera system, the Atlas remains perfectly parkable. This particular Atlas came with a 276 horsepower 3.6-liter V6 paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Even with the V6, our testers wished for a bit more horsepower. The 235 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder VW plans to introduce in late 2017 won't do anything to address our power lust, but fuel economy should see a boost. Speaking of, in our test, fuel economy was the Atlas's prime shortcoming. Albeit by a small margin, the Atlas proved least efficient in this group, returning slightly more than 20 mpg. Again, look to the upcoming 4-cylinder, fuel economy is a major concern. Wrapped in hulking bodywork, the reasonably priced Volkswagen Atlas is roomy yet manageably sized, drives well, and comes with standard Apple CarPlay and a boast-worthy 6-year, 72,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. It might be the new kid, but the Atlas is hanging tough. I'm so sorry about that reference. Oh hey, it's the thoroughly revised 2017 GMC Acadia. For 2017, GMC radically rethought the Acadia's place in the universe. Smaller than the outgoing model, the new Acadia can be had in 3-row form, though our tester came in this 2-row layout. The Acadia's cabin earned praise for its material quality and practical design, but drew mixed reviews where aesthetics were concerned. Perhaps we should blame the elevated expectations created by the lovely Mazda CX-9. Post-overhaul, the Acadia also trails where roominess is concerned. Look at the specs, and if our Acadia had the third row that comes standard on the base trim, it would have ranked among the smallest in class. With that in mind, the GMC Acadia is best treated as a 5-passenger SUV that, when properly equipped and if required, can carry 2 extra bodies. People. The Acadia's cargo space is also small among this group. Once in motion, we found the ride somewhat firm, though our car's 20-inch wheels bear some responsibility. At speed, the steering demanded more frequent corrections than we prefer, and visibility when changing lanes might have been tricky without the optional blind spot warning system. Even so, we appreciate the robust, smoothly delivered, test-topping oomph of the Acadia's 3.6-liter V6. Truth be told, the 2018 Chevrolet Traverse would have been a more appropriate contender if it had been available, but if you want a handsome, powerful SUV with occasional third-row abilities, the GMC Acadia could be worth a look. In such a fresh segment, the Honda Pilot is something of a veteran, having been introduced way back in 2016. Things were so simple then. Age aside, Kelley Blue Book's mid-size SUV Best Buy of 2017 continues to dazzle, starting inside. Crafted with minivan-esque versatility, the Pilot's interior affords occupants ample room in all 3 rows, along with available push-button access to the third row. Plus, it can seat up to 8. Excluding the Toyota Highlander, every other contender in our test tops out at 7. Fold those seats, and you'll enjoy nearly best-in-class cargo space. Beyond the interior, we're especially enamored with the Pilot's road manners. Okay, the 9-speed automatic is still finicky versus the 6-speed automatic featured on lower trims, and a wider-than-average turning circle necessitates slightly greater attention when parking, but otherwise, the Pilot is fantastic to drive. The ride is comfortable, interior noise is nicely controlled, and the 280 horsepower 3.5-liter V6 pulls strong while returning better than average fuel economy. On the tech front, forward collision warning, lane keep assist, and adaptive cruise control are all available, but only on higher trims. And, excluding the base LX trim, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard. Insert lack of volume knob complaint here. Minor quibbles aside, given its excellent driving demeanor, reputation for quality, strong resale values, and agreeable nature, the Honda Pilot is an essential line item on any SUV test drive list. Hey you. Do you like looking good and driving fast? You do? Well then, let me introduce you to the Mazda CX-9. You might have noticed, it looks gorgeous. Yeah, we noticed too. Peek inside and the story is the same. Sharp design and top-notch materials. Complementing all this style are road manners that perfectly align with what we expect from Mazda. You know, precise steering, adept cornering, dynamic thrills, all that jazz. On the powertrain front, the 2.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder delivers a stout 310 pound-feet of torque for brisk off-the-line acceleration, while also returning up to 28 mpg on the highway, so says the EPA. Interestingly, even equipped with adaptive cruise control, heated leather seats, and navigation, this front-drive CX-9 was the least expensive vehicle in our test, with an MSRP of $41,810. Add in an extra $1,800 for all-wheel drive just to even things out, and it still would have undercut the rest of the field. Countering all its admirable qualities, third-row space is tight, space behind the third row is a scant 14.4 cubic feet, the ride is firm, and Mazda does not currently offer Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. A shame, because the infotainment system really is quite good. If the concept of buying a three-row SUV fills you with soul-crushing existential dread, consider the CX-9 a lifeline to emotion-drenched, metaphorical shores. It's a mouthful. It's not the most practical three-row SUV, but depending on your needs and wants, the Mazda CX-9 might just be practical enough. For 2017, the Nissan Pathfinder experienced a thorough reworking to strengthen its position in a very competitive segment. To start, the magic of direct injection helps the 3.5-liter V6 make an extra 24 horsepower and 19 pound-feet of torque versus the 2016 model, while maintaining last year's 22 mpg combined rating, a number that syncs with the 21.6 mpg seen during our test. The V6's extra power yields snappier acceleration and a 1,000-pound bump in tow capacity, landing at a class-leading 6,000 pounds. At almost 4,700 pounds, the Pathfinder is the heaviest entrant in our test. Nonetheless, its retuned chassis returned a pleasing ride and well-behaved cornering. For 2017, the Pathfinder's 5-star NHTSA rating can now be supplemented by optional automatic emergency braking and dynamic cruise control. Meanwhile, infotainment duty is now handled by the latest generation Nissan Connect, featuring a larger 8-inch display. It's a nice system that is woefully lacking Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Although not as spacious as the Atlas, and lacking the Pilot or Highlander's 8-passenger interior arrangement, the Pathfinder's 7-passenger cabin is still one of our favorites. For example, real adults can sit in the third row, provided second-row dwellers slide forward a bit. Incidentally, those second-row seats allow for easy third-row access even with a child seat installed. Aft of the third row lies a somewhat larger than average 16 cubic foot cargo hold that's accessible via a newly optional foot-activated hatch. Drop the second and third rows, and there's a generous 79.8 cubic feet to work with. Though it's likely to trail its Honda and Toyota rivals where resale values are concerned, the Nissan Pathfinder remains an attractively priced SUV that delivers a strong hit of practicality. Rounding things out, we have the sweet, reliable Toyota Highlander. Like many of its competitors, the Highlander has been updated for 2017. Of note, a newly enhanced V6 combined with an 8-speed automatic transmission helps generate maximum performance and commendable efficiency. More specifically, our all-wheel drive tester sports an EPA rating of 20 city and 26 on the highway. Solid numbers that make the underpowered base 4-cylinder worth ignoring. On the road, most of our editorial team ranked the Highlander as having the most comfortable ride. At the same time, we appreciated its reassuring handling, supported by a standard suite of active safety aids, including lane departure warning, pre-collision braking, and adaptive cruise control. Where passenger accommodations are concerned, the good news is that you can buy a Highlander with up to 8 seats, though actually fitting humans into all of those seats could prove tricky. Cozy head and legroom means you'll probably want to save the third row for children. That said, more appealing quarters can be found in the first 2 rows, material quality is good throughout, and when lugging gear, the seats fold nearly flat with zero fuss. We especially dig the cabin's balanced approach to style and functionality. exemplified by a handy yet shapely in-dash storage shelf. Above that shelf lies an Entune infotainment system that is pleasantly simple to operate, but like a broken record, we have to say that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are not offered in any Toyota vehicles. Still, with awesome resale values, Toyota quality, an easy driving disposition, and the ability to pull 8-passenger duty in a pinch, the Highlander is a worthy contender if you decide to conduct your own SUV comparison. And that is a rapid glance at our 2017 midsize SUV comparison. Swing by kbb.com for a more detailed look. And when you do, remember, these days, it's hard to buy a bad car, but it's easy to buy the wrong car. If you're in the market for an SUV or virtually anything else on wheels, Kelley Blue Book is here to help.